This is Mark Bell, the People's Coach from Supertraining.tv, Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West, answering more questions today for the Power Project, the PP, my PP, the Power Project. So here we go. We got a question today about squats as I like to call them. SKWAATS, squats. This question is about doing a two-part lift in a squat, as I like to call it. This particular guy, he good mornings his squats. As he goes to come up, the first thing that shoots up when he comes up out of the hole in a squat is his butt, and you don't want to do that. You want to try to drive up, and the first thing that you want to move is your head. You want everything to kind of follow your head. But what's happening to this guy is his butt's shooting up. He's kind of table-topping, where his hips are directly in line, in a nice straight flat line, which sucks, with his shoulders, and he's good morning the weight up. And he's saying that he does it so much to the point that his back hurts worse and gets more sore from doing squats than it does deadlifts. And that is screwed up, my friends. So let's see if we can help this guy out a little bit. What have we been talking about here at the Power Project? What have we had a hard-on about lately? We've been talking a lot about the dome, right? We've been talking a lot about head positioning. So let's make sure that's intact first. Without seeing you squat, there's only so much help I can offer. But some common mistakes I see are head positioning, not driving the knees out enough. So let's make sure that you're doing that. Let's talk about the dome for a second here. You don't want to have your head up and back like this when you do a squat. If you have it up a little bit, that's okay. A lot of times when you go to do that and you go to unrack anything that's heavy, remember heavy is relative to you, relative to your strength. I'm not talking about a 900-pound squat or 11 and 1,200-pound squat. It's whatever heavy is to you. That could be 300 pounds. I'm not sure. But when you go and unrack the weight, if you pick your chin up a little bit, that's not what we're talking about. I don't have a problem with that. That's actually good. It's good practice. And a lot of times those weights, as they get heavier, they'll start to mash you down. So you got to kind of counteract that with a little bit of picking up your chin. And as you go down in the hole, it's kind of a technique Brandon Lilly just talks about also on the Power Project in a recent video about how he kind of drives his chin up and back as he goes towards the hole, and it helps set his hips in the right place so he can drive the weights back up again. And that's what we're talking about here. The head positioning can offset the rest of your body, and it can really screw things up. It can really mess with the mechanics of your entire body. So what we need to do is keep a more neutral head position, not all the way up, not all the way down. You can check out videos of my boy Stan Efferding, who's done an 854-pound raw squat at 275 with no knee wraps. And you can watch his neutral head position. His eyes are actually down. Try to watch a couple videos of him squatting because it's really unbelievable. He kind of developed a little bit of his own style. He does a great job of externally rotating the knees. He does a great job of keeping his head neutral. And that's what you're going to want to do on these. You want to keep your head neutral when you squat. Trying to move here. We got lots of peeps around here. Anyway, so keep a neutral head position. Externally rotate. Force the knees out. Open up through your groin. Get those knees out to where your feet are, or even slightly beyond where your feet are. Drive them out hard. Spread the floor even on the way up. You want to try to spread the floor even on the way up. You want to force your knees out even on the way up. That's what a lot of people don't know about the squat, is that you have to push outward the entire time, on the way down and on the way up. Let's see, what else we got here? Try some pause squats with light weights, whatever, again, relative to your strength. Try some pause squats with light weights. Keep that head neutral and make sure that you're not driving your head way up and back, and make sure when you're coming out of the hole that you're not doing this, because that creates midget ass, and you don't want to have that happen. You guys know what I'm talking about out there. Midget ass, they kind of walk around with that booty sticking way back. You don't want to have that. That's going to create a lot of slack in your spine. Keep that head neutral. Drive those weights back drive your fat head back into the barbell and keep your neck packed in like this, like yay. Look it up, Google it, check it out on YouTube. Well, not on YouTube, but Google it and search for head positioning on squats. Research it a little bit. You're going to find some pretty interesting information out there. Some of it contradicts itself a little bit, but most of the studies, most of the information out there shows that you shouldn't be looking like this when you squat or pull. So stop doing it. It doesn't work. It's not as effective. It's not optimal. I know that for some guys, it may be optimal and it may be because of the way that they're built, and that's okay. That's not what we're trying to fix here. We're trying to fix the guys who are broken. And you, my friend, are broken, so we got to fix this. Try some pause squats, sets of 8 reps with light weights. You can even just use, for practice, you can even just use around 95 pounds to 135 pounds. Really depends on your strength level. But what I'd like to see you do is pause down there for about 3 seconds, drive the weight back up. You also need to get your ass doing some box squats. I don't know if you're not doing box squats, but if you're not doing them, you got to get with the program, my man. Box squats is where it's at. If you're an athlete, if you're a non-powerlifter, I would even say I would never even recommend that anybody really do any regular squats, because why bother? The risk to benefit ratio of a regular squat is not that great. I would rather see most people box squatting most of the time. I wouldn't say that with everybody all the time, but for the most part, most people should be box squatting. Why bother doing a regular full range squat if you're never going to be tested in it? Who cares? Who gives a shit? So if you're a football player out there, put your ego to the side and work on your box squats. Box squats are more effective in a lot of different ways, and they're safer. The original Westside Barbell used to box squat 3 times a week. So that tells me that the recovery time for box squats is shorter than regular squats, because doing regular squats 3 times a week would hurt really bad. Anyway, I'm a big fan of box squats. You guys all know that out there. I'm just throwing that out there because I think it's important, and I think it will help you with your problem of having your butt come up first. What helped me more so than anything was keeping a neutral head position. I used to squat with my head round, my back rounded, my head down. I was all screwed up, and it wasn't until Stan Ettering came into my gym and he started looking at the floor when he squatted, and I thought, man, this guy's retarded. And then I started to learn from it, and I was like, man, he's really able to use his back and his hips a lot more that way. That is freaking phenomenal. And so I started to pick it up a little bit. And then in my conversations with Kelly Starrett and my boy from PowerWOD.com, Jesse Burdick, we all kind of came to the realization that, hey, some of the shit that the high school coach is teaching you about looking up at the ceiling is stupid. So don't do it. Try to keep that head more neutral. Keep the stomach tight. You want to push your stomach outward against your belt, out to the side. You don't want to create a giant beer belly. You don't want to be distending your belly out like you just ate a giant pizza. You want to push your stomach down more. You're not sucking it in either, and make that clear. But put a belt on and try to push your obliques out against the belt more so than just protruding your gut out and looking disgusting. Anyway, hopefully that helps you. I'm trying to think of any other exercises that I could think of. Oh, good mornings. Good mornings would be great for you to do. And a good morning squat combo. It's kind of a bell lift. I think I invented the good morning squat combo. Some of you out there are probably going, no, I've seen that before in books. But my good morning squat combo is a little bit different. Do a good morning, followed by a squat. Do a good morning, followed by a squat. Good morning, squat, back and forth until you get to about 10 total reps. That's going to teach you a lot about your squat form. It's going to teach you a lot about your hip positioning when you squat, how awful it is, how good it can be, and so on. Use light weights, do 3 sets of 10, do it twice a week until you start to get that shit right. Make sure you're doing your pause squats as well, and make sure you're hitting up your box squats. You got a lot of work to do, my friend, and I'm out of here. Later.